Hi friends, welcome. In this video we are going to see about the machine learning models. What is machine learning? Machine learning is the study of different algorithms that can improve automatically through their previous experience and the old data and they build the model. This is what the machine learning is. So you are in machine learning, you are going to build a model that will automatically learn or improve its algorithm through the experience and the already existing data. And this machine learning model, it is like a software to recognize the patterns based on the previous experience. So this machine learning model, it will be recognizing the patterns or it will be predicting the outputs from the previous experience. Let us see the different models that are available for this machine learning. So the first is the classification model. So classification model, it is for classifying the various training data or the input data which is already available or the data set which is already available, and from the already existing data set you are going to classify the various inputs. Next is the regression model, where you will be forming from the existing data or the data set, you are going to go through it and you are going to find some decision or you are going to act according to the performance of the data sets. In the clustering, you will be grouping the data sets, grouping the data set or grouping the data that are available in the data set in based on their categories or characteristics, etc. Dimensionality reduction, it is reducing the dimensionality of the data, that is there may be number of predictions based on which the data will be changing, so you will be reducing it so as to obtain the higher prediction rates. And the last is the deep learning, where you will be concentrating on the input data set and you are going to predict the output. So we are going to see all these things in detail. So first we want to know the classification of the machine learning model. So how you are going to classify these machine learning models. So basically the machine learning model is being classified into three types. The first is the supervised learning, and second is the unsupervised learning, and the third one is the reinforcement learning. So let us look into this one. First is the supervised learning. So it is the simplest machine learning model which gets the input from the data set, understand it based on the data set, and it provides the predictions. So supervised learning is the simplest machine learning model to understand, in which input data is called training data and has a known label or result as an output. So it works on the principle of input-output pairs. The second type of machine learning model is unsupervised learning. So before getting into this, in the supervised learning there are some example machine learning model. So the first is the classification model. Classification model is a type of supervised learning model which classifies the data set which is already available or the training data set. So classification models are the type of supervised learning technique which are used to generate conclusions from observed values in the categorical form. So we are going to categorize it. So the example is given here, that is the email spam, about the purchase detail, etc. So this classification can be done in two different ways. One is binary classification and another one is multi-class classification. In binary classification, if the problem has only two possible classes, uh, either this or that, if there is a scenario of this or that, then you need to use the binary classification. So example is cat or dog, yes or no, etc. In case of multi-class classification, if the problem is having more than two possible classes, it is a multiple class classifier. The next model for under the supervised learning is regression. So here the output is continuous variable. The best example for this is the linear regression, which we know is the simplest machine learning model, in which we try to predict one output variable using one or more input variables. So here you will be getting a number of input variables, and based on that you are going to predict a particular output variable. So decision tree, it is the best example for this regression model, and as we have already seen, the decision tree are a popular machine learning model which can be used both for regression and classification. So this decision tree will be a tree-like structure which containing the number of nodes and the branches, which represents the decisions and the possible consequences or outcomes. So in this, each internal node is used to represent a test on an attribute, and each branch is used to represent the outcome of the tests. And the next type of machine learning model is the unsupervised learning model. So unsupervised learning model, it implements the learning process just opposite to this supervised learning model, which means it enables the model to learn from the unlabeled training data set. So it is just an opposite of supervised learning model. The first example which we are going to see for this unsupervised learning model is a clustering model. It is an unsupervised learning technique which involves grouping the data points into different clusters based on the similarities and the differences. The objects with the most similarity will be having grouped into a same group, and they have very new similarities will be put in the other groups. So this can be used in different tasks such as image segmentation, statistical analysis, market segmentation, etc. So this k-means clustering algorithm, this may be known to you. So this is a common example for the clustering algorithm. And the next is association rule. This is an example for this unsupervised learning model. The association rule learning, this finds the interesting relationships among variables within a large data set, and based on that it is going to make the grouping. So the main aim of this learning algorithm is to find the dependency of one data with another and map those data according to the maximum profits. And this is mainly applied in the market basket analysis, web usage mining, continuous production, etc. The most famous algorithm, the a priori algorithm, comes under this association rule learning. The next is the dimensionality reduction. That too is the unsupervised learning. So the variables or the features that are present in the data set, it is called as the dimensionality, and this technique will reduce the dimensionality, so it is known as dimensionality reduction technique. So here, although more data provides more accurate results, it can also affect the performance of the model when there is more number of data, such as this overfitting issues. So to overcome these overfitting issues, we are going for this dimensionality reduction technique. So what we are going to do in this dimensionality reduction technique is you are going to convert the higher dimension data set into less dimension data set. Even though we are converting it, you need to ensure that it provides the similar information. And the different dimensionality reduction methods which are already available as the principal component analysis PCA, singular value decomposition, etc. And the third type of machine learning model is the reinforcement learning, which works or they learns the actions of the given set of data that lead to a goal state. So you are going to reach a goal state. For that goal state, what are the things that need to be done, that is learned from the existing data. This type of learning is called as the reinforcement learning. It is also called as the feedback based learning, that is you are going to uh, learn from the feedback which is already available. So this model takes the feedback signals after each state or action by interacting with the environment. So the first type of reinforcement learning we are going to see is the Q-learning model. So it is one of the popular free algorithms of reinforcement learning, which is based on the Bellman equation. So what it does is it aims the policy that can help the agent to take best action for maximizing the reward under a specific circumstance. So this is the major rule of this major performance of this Q-learning model. So how it works is it works based on a Q value for each state, and that Q value is the action pair that indicate the reward to the following a given state path. And what this particular algorithm going to do is it tries to maximize the Q value. And the next is the SARSA, the state action reward state action. So it is on policy algorithm based on the Markov decision process. It uses the action performed by the current policy to learn the Q value. And the third is the deep Q network. So this deep Q network, it is otherwise the deep Q neural network. It is also the Q learning algorithm with just the addition of this neural network. So it is basically employed in a big state space environment where defining a Q table would be a complex task. So when going for the large things, you can go for this deep Q network. So these are some of the models of this reinforcement learning. So in this video we have seen the various machine learning models, and we have classified the machine learning models based on the supervised, unsupervised and reinforcement, and we have seen how various models have been classified into all these three different models. Thank you.